I'm going to go into every detail I could think of about how the Chaos Chambers work, how the runs work themselves, all the way up to how to spawn and fight the secret raid bosses. I hope you enjoy, and of course, if you can help me out by liking and sharing the video, it'd be amazing. Thanks. First, we have the choice of what Chaos Chamber you want to run. You have Featured, Normal, Extended, and Chaos Trial to level yourself up. They mostly explain on each card what they are. Featured just keeps them the same so you know what to expect and how to handle it. Now, the levels have random different colored skulls hidden around the map. You'll find which usually make a little bit of a noise as well. They're usually close by the corresponding activation item. Skulls are set locations, so once you find them, you can remember where they are. Just activating these will give you a little bit of a crystal reward and just boost up your numbers. These runes are spread throughout the map, and there are quite a few of them. They're just a collection type item and don't do anything special other than just to collect them. On cursed levels, you'll have a choice of 2 that are easy, medium, or hard. I'll include a list of them from an awesome person on Reddit. I'll post it in the video below. Try to keep away from the keep away one. It's pretty nasty. Some are good, some are just really annoying. These crystals are spread randomly throughout most levels, and when you find them, you can shatter them. When you do, you'll have an elite that'll spawn. If you actually end up defeating that elite, you'll get a nice chunk of crystals. Worth noting that these levels have random little side missions on them as well. There is the option to destroy the Dragon Lord statue, protect the Butt Stallion statue. There is a fire orb that you can kill enemies, pick up fire spirits, and then feed the fire spirit for a certain amount of time before you finish the level. You get to finish level before the time runs out. There'll be one for melee kills of enemies, or there'll be one for killing a number of enemies while standing in a circle, as you can see here. Now, throughout the levels, you'll find random buffs that you can purchase with the crystals. They do increase in price as you find them or activate them, so choose wisely on which ones you want. Sometimes at the end of the level, you'll have a couple different choices, and I will warn you ahead of time as well, if you are in a multiplayer game, I would avoid reloading with the free ammo one and free health one, because we've noticed a bug where it will actually charge whatever the current price is of the other buffs around the map for the people that are with you, so it will definitely mess up their crystals. Now we have the portal choices that are at the end of levels. First, we have the chest choice, which rewards you with some loot and gear at the end. Second, we have Dragon Lord curses, in which you choose one of the 2 he shows you. Third, we have the crystal chest, which rewards you with extra crystals. And last, we have the Butt Stallion one, which will give you and your party a random few skill points in your trees randomly. Now, the 3 boss rooms that you'll find randomly spread throughout different levels. You will hear like a little impish laugh on levels usually if there's a rune there. You can activate them and do little game side mission things to unlock special hidden bosses at the end of the run. You'll get 3 chances on each of these. This is the blue one. You all have to stand on a circle that spawns, activate an orb, and it tracks the nearest target. You're going to take that orb, and you're going to drag it to the big orb that spawns. You're going to detonate it while it's near it. You don't want it to hit the environment and so forth, so be careful with that. This will activate Goopathoth, I think his name is, Keeper of the Abyss at the end. Defeating each of these 3 will pit you against Tiny Tina or the Maker herself, and she is a bit of a pain to deal with. The green one you'll need to activate, then follow it. There'll be a mushroom that spawns, jump on the mushroom, activate it, and then as soon as it shoots spores in the air, shoot them in order of whichever one lights up. It'll fire off 3 different spreads of them. This will trigger a Barkenstein, Keeper of Nature boss at the end. The yellow rune will spawn a floating rock. You're going to want to shoot it as quick as you can. It'll spawn an orb. Shoot that as quick as you can, and you want to detonate it that way. If you don't do it in time, it'll spawn a rotating beam that you want to avoid, or it'll blind you, and this will activate Bunted Hog, Keeper of Sands. Once you see these portals, you'll be able to choose whether or not you want to go into the yellow and end your run, or red will take you to the bosses. So, this is how the bosses start. You'll enter the portal, Tina will start talking to you. If you don't really want to talk to her, you can actually just shoot her and it'll interrupt her and start immediately. So you always have that as an option.
To the players who don't appreciate my brilliance! For your insolence, sentence your butts to
And now we spawn glue path. Of course, this one's a little bit of an interesting one to fight. It starts out the fight with just spawning little orbs. You just pop them, not a big deal. You can do a little bit of damage here and there with them. Not really. He does have a specific like damage phase. He'll shoot these little chaos balls that'll roll around on the floor after you. Obviously, you want to try to avoid them if you can because they do, tend to hurt. Once you trigger him into this next phase that'll appear here in just a second. He goes translucent, and then he'll zip around the room, spawning little orbs that are on the ground. You're going to pick one of those orbs, go over to them, watch out for the little ads that spawn, of course, because they can be kind of a nuisance. He'll come over to near you, usually, and spawn little frost orbs that you'll see in a second. You're going to want to detonate those when they're near the big orb, which will cause the big orb to go up. When that detonates, he'll go into a position like this, where you can just unload into him, a damage phase. Just unload into the ball right there, and you can finish him usually pretty quick. Now we have Barkenstein. Definitely rather annoying of a fight as well. There are some mechanics here that we'll get into as I see him come across here.
Oh, hello! This is my monster. I need to bark scene, and now he's gonna eat your face.
That little orb that you saw on his tail right there, you can actually detonate if you time it right, and it will interrupt him. That one right there, you can also do it right where you saw his foot, on the left foot, when he's facing you. If you detonate that, it'll also interrupt him and kind of knock him back a bit. So you'll be able to actually get some more damage in. Now he does have another phase here, kind of missed it. He'll throw those little spore balls up in the air, and they'll start lighting up. You can just detonate those. Otherwise, if you don't, you start getting those poison bubbles all over the map. So you want to clear as many of them as you can while they're in the air before they land. And after that, it's pretty much just kind of rinse and repeat until he's dead. Now we have Bunnet Hog. Also another one with some different mechanics here. Not too difficult, but it can be a lot of effects going on at once. You just want to damage him as best you can. Obviously, he's got different attacks and such. Different ads that'll spawn, little laser beams, big area of effect stuff. Now, you'll see him dig into the ground here. There was like a pulse right there. He'll shoot out crystals and stuff too, which you can detonate to death save yourself. He's gonna go underground. He'll turn into a worm with a little ball on his head. You want to pop that ball as soon as possible. Otherwise, dodge the light. Otherwise, it blinds you, just like when you activated the rune. And once you pop the ball, he'll usually come out, start attacking again, and just kind of repeat different effects. There's a ball again right there. You want to detonate that one. And you just kind of keep repeating the same things here. Next up, we have the Maker herself. Again, if you don't want to really hear her talk, you usually can shoot her and skip through it. She'll spawn these little void bunnies here. You want to detonate them. They'll spawn little balls. You're going to want to crouch down usually, wait for her to stop dancing, literally dancing, and punt the balls at her. They will do quite a bit of damage to her. That will push her into different phases of the fight and so on and so forth. She'll do that throughout the fight at random intervals. She'll be rolling dice, doing different effects, different things. I don't even know what all the dice rolls mean at this point. I know there's different meteors that come down, which you just saw. There should be another one coming up here in a second. This one has a rotating vortex that keeps you locked in. You just kind of want to jump over the edge of it when the edge of it goes to the ground. This one, she spawns the Maker with a rotating beam. You just want to rotate around it while killing the Maker in the center. That's another big meteor in the center. It can help to mark her so you can see her through the orbs too.
Time for a spell.
This is the lines in the ground. You don't want to get caught in those. They will push you toward the edge of the map and off the edge of the map and hurt you, of course. She'll do other effects at the same time during some of these. This is the one you want to jump over the edge. So you want to be careful as much as you can of all the different things that she's doing at once. You can actually interrupt her dice rolls and such with the orbs if you time it out correctly. So always keep that in mind. It's a lot easier to do when there's multiple people in the group, of course. The edges are kind of... You're going to fall off usually at least once before you realize where the edges really are right there. When she gets near the end, some of the effects will or some of her abilities will change a little bit to where there's like not a double beam maker and so on and so forth, I've noticed. Of course, if she rolls a 20, which she always will, she will do usually a bunch of different things, or like a big AoE in the center, or something of the sort.
My spell is ready. Ready to die?
Let's just have a quick look at how super dead you are.
Come on then.
More empowerment. Die fast, die fast. Now, I'm dead.
Usually she does it when she has a bit more health than she did here. However, she'll go to the center and it becomes more of a DPS race. Those runes that she's slamming her foot down, I do believe if you time them out, jumping or crouching, you can probably avoid them, obviously. I did a terrible job there. But you definitely want to try to avoid them as much as possible. Once you finish everything, you'll be at this room here where you'll be rewarded with whatever you want to choose. You spend 500 crystals on each or whatever one you want here, and you'll be able to pick which kind of loot you want, as well as just, you don't have to spend 500 crystals. You can choose how much you want to spend, but you have a lot less chance of getting the higher rolls. Wanted to include this. This is the difference between regular, chaotic, and volatile loot. The volatile loot and the chaotic loot sounds the same when it's dropped on the ground. The beams pretty much look the same to me as well. I wish they were a little bit more distinctive. Volatile rolls with definitely quite a bit higher stats, but they are also definitely much rarer, so make sure you are checking items. Don't just look for legendaries, of course. This is Borderlands after all. You definitely want to check every single thing that you can. Hope you enjoyed this in-depth look at the Chaos Chambers, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.